I recall my dating years a very, very, very long time ago.
Yeah.
And I certainly remember being ghosted.
No, what?
Yeah, I mean,
how would you ghost back then?
How would you get? Well, you just wouldn't you wouldn't return a phone call.
You are listening to the Why Smart Women podcast, the podcast that helps smart women work out why we repeatedly make the wrong decisions and how to make better ones. From relationships, career choices, finances, to faux fur jackets and kale smoothies. Every moment of every day, we're making decisions. Let's make them good ones. I'm your host, Annie McCubbin, and as a woman of a certain age, I've made my own share of really bad decisions. Not my husband. I don't mean him, though. I did go through some shockers to find him. And I wish this podcast had been around to save me from myself. This podcast will give you insights into the working of your own brain, which will blow your mind. I acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which I'm recording, and you are listening on this day. Always was, always will be, Aboriginal land. Well, hello, smart women, and welcome to the second of our bonus episodes. These episodes are going to be in addition to our weekly episodes, which come out on a Tuesday. And in these bonus episodes, I am going to be chatting all things relational with David.
Hello.
Hello. Now, it can be in intimate relationships. It can be any relationships you can think of, including geopolitical. Yeah, we can go as big or as little as we like.
Yes, indeed.
But this week, I thought what we'd concentrate on was the notion of ghosting. In the second part of my chat with Karen, we talked about
Karen
Bickersma. We talked about what happens to women when they get ghosted by a man online and what they should do about that and what's happening to their brain chemistry. And I thought, as I'm not male, yeah, and not that you are representative of all men, but I thought we could just have a little chat about why would men do it? First of all, what is ghosting? What is ghosting?
What is ghosting?
Yeah, what is online ghosting? You explain it.
Well, I mean, ghosting, it occurs when you believe that you've established a relationship with somebody, and in all good relationships you communicate backwards and forwards, but if one partner in that relationship decides that they're just going to disappear and not return any messages, not show up, not call, not do anything, basically become a ghost, that's ghosting.
And I guess it's interesting because we are going to talk about it in terms of online dating. But I have been hearing about in the job market, people have also been ghosted, sometimes by recruiters and sometimes by someone that they've been having a communication with.
Yeah, like a prospective client or something like that. You've had a really great meeting. You think that you're heading in a really great direction, and then they don't respond to any emails. They don't pick up the phone when you call them. You are being ghosted professionally.
It's so rude. It's so rude. Also, a friend of mine was telling me that her husband had been approached by a recruiter. He was looking for a job. And then they'd been sort of having this conversation. And then the recruiter ghosted him, even though he actually initiated the relationship in the first place, which is really weird. The whole thing's weird. And it's rude, David. It's really rude.
Well, I mean, it's rude when you're the person who is being ghosted.
It's rude anyway.
Yes, you could argue that.
Cowardly.
Yes, you could argue that.
It's really cowardly. Like, get on the phone and get online and put the person out of their misery. It's disgusting. Anyway, what do we think? What's driving? And do we think that there is I think there's more a proliferation of men doing it to women online as opposed to the opposite?
Let me think. Now, I recall my dating years a very, very, very long time ago.
Yeah.
And I certainly remember being ghosted.
No, what?
Yeah, I mean,
how would you ghost back then?
How would you get? Well, you just wouldn't you wouldn't return a phone call. That was the primary way that we used to talk to each other. They would never return a phone call. You'd leave messages on the answering machine. You'd come home. Remember that? You'd come home,
Man, yes.
and you'd turn on the answering machine and hoping that it would either be a call from your agent saying that you've got an audition or that you've got the job, or it was that lovely girl that you met in the in the pub the other day, and you exchanged phone numbers and you had a great chat and you sent them a message and you asked if you would like to go on a picnic together, and you've got nothing.
No wonder she didn't get back to you. That is so lame and daggy.
But
what were you thinking?
But I am.
Oh my God!
I am saying that I don't think the experience of being ghosted
is new.
Nor is it exclusively gendered. Although I would certainly.
I'm just looking it up. You keep talking.
Okay. Well, I would certainly own up to the fact that it's probably something in terms of the numbers. Are you looking up the numbers?
Here we go. What? Oh, hang on. Whoa.
Here we go. Stand by. Some surprising, shocking research is about to be shared by Annie.
Okay, here we go.
Hang on, who's the source?
Never mind about that. Well, there's no definitive data, so it's starting with that. There's no definitive data.
So it's all anecdotal.
Yeah, but they haven't had time to collect the data. Well, there's no definitive data comparing ghosting rates between men and women. Some studies and observations suggest that women may be more likely to engage in ghosting, particularly in the context of online dating. This could be due to various factors, including the sheer volume of messages women receive on dating apps, which makes it difficult to respond to everyone. Additionally, some argue that ghosting might be a way for people to avoid difficult conversations or potential hurt feelings.
I think that's the reason why the ghoster does it. They want to avoid a difficult conversation. They want to avoid telling somebody, no, look, I don't want to see you again because you didn't impress me that much, which is hurtful. So it's probably the easiest thing to do is to avoid any kind of contact.
A 2018 survey indicated that women across different age groups were more likely to ghost than men. Okay, so this is really, really cultural norms and expectations about how people should handle rejection might also play a role in ghosting behaviour. Mm-hmm. All right.
Well, gee, now that complicates things. I've got a hypothesis.
Go on.
As to why.
All right.
Because was that study about people who are in the relationship apps?
Well, David, I read it to you.
Yeah, okay.
And that's all it said.
Okay,
I don't know. I think so.
Okay, so if that's the case, then we're not talking about, all women ghosting all men. We're talking about a subset. We're talking about women who might make contact with somebody through a dating app with a gentleman who has made himself available to the dating app rather than seeking to develop a relationship in the real world. Could it be that when women actually meet the person behind the photograph in that particular environment, they are just immediately disappointed with the quality of the person that they've met and would rather not see them again?
Hang on, go back. Have they met the person online, or they've met them in the flesh?
No. This is the online dating thing.
Yeah, but are they just still online? They haven't gone out for a drink or anything.
Okay, so they go out for a drink.
Okay, let's go out for a drink. Hi.
Hi there.
Hi.
And then you notice that I'm wearing a cheap watch.
Cheap watch.
That I
got from Kmart.
Yeah. That I split the bill, and I'm rude to the waitress.
I've noticed this.
Yeah, you've noticed that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when
what did you say to the waitress?
Oh, well,
you ready for? Can I get you anything else, sir? I'm being the waitress.
Okay. No, can't you see that we're having a conversation here? I do not like to be interrupted.
It was a terrible acting. Let's try that again and be subtler. Okay. Can I get you anything else, sir?
Finally, do you know how long we have been sitting here waiting to get your attention?
That's horrible. I hate you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if a gentleman who has joined the dating app and has got this date because of that, and they had that first meeting, if he reveals his true character,
she might ghost him.
She might ghost him, and why wouldn't she? I mean, is it better for her to call him up and say, listen, the way that you talked to that waitress was really disappointing.
Yeah.
I don't think I can have a relationship
No, you don't
with
need to do that. You don't need to do that. You don't need to extrapolate on what went wrong. But I think it's reasonable to say, this is not going to work, but thank you. I know from our children when they were in that environment, they just, politely ended it because they're raised by us.
And yet, sometimes you can have a prospective, romantic partner. Well, they think they're a prospective romantic partner who is determined to keep at it.
Sure.
So
that's called stalking.
That's called stalking.
Once you've actually said I'm not interested, and they keep going on and on and on at you, then that's called stalking because you're stomping all over their boundaries.
So is that an appropriate time to actually ghost that person who's doing it to you?
Sure, it's different.
Okay.
I guess what I'm talking about, and I think, look, I don't know, and this is anecdotal, and I'm not relying on studies here, and I think it would be so hard to do a study on this anyway. It would have to be observational studies, but I think possibly let's just investigate the idea that the reason that men ghost might be different to the reason that women ghost. And my friend that I was having coffee with this morning from the gym, hello Emma, was saying that she sometimes would have so many messages coming to her she was on so many different she was involved in so many different texting conversations online.
She couldn't remember one.
She
from the
couldn't
other.
remember, and she didn't know what she'd said last time. Da 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 da. And I think she just threw her hands up in the air.
And then ghosted all of them.
I think so, and I think, but I think the women. I don't know what would make it. Let's take a specific example and get out of the generic area. Okay, so let's just say you see my picture.
Me.
Not you. You're now an avatar.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
How was I supposed to work that out?
Okay, well, we're not talking about us. We've been in a relationship for over 30 years. If you ghost me, I'll track you down. I will hunt you down.
Yes. Yeah, I know.
That would be difficult, wouldn't it?
It would.
Also, I would know where you were because Ryder would be looking in the last direction you went, the dog, going, where's it gone? Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Anyway, so let's you're an avatar and I am as well.
I'm an archetype.
Mm.
Okay.
And you have seen my picture online.
Yeah.
And I am, wildly attractive
Yes.
and gorgeous.
Yeah, just beautiful.
Just beautiful.
Yeah.
And you thought, what have you thought?
Hang on a second. Let me just make sure. I'm single.
Yes, you're not married to me.
Right, I'm not married to you.
Okay, you're not. Oh, you may be.
I'm a clean skin.
Hey, hang on. Maybe you are married.
Come on, you got to define.
All right.
You got to define
giving you
the
a
avatar.
character background.
No, that's complicating it, isn't it?
He's not married. You're just.
Let's say that I'm available.
You're in your 50s. You're available.
I'm in my 50s, and I see your photograph, and I go.
And I'm way too old, and you want someone in their 20s, which is such a piss off for women.
No, hang on a minute. Oh, no, okay.
30s, they do. It's horrible.
You're architecting my avatar, so
you're in your 50s.
I'm in my 50s.
You're
and
divorced.
I'm divorced. I'm divorced in my 50s.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for a younger woman.
Yeah, they all are.
Why would I do that?
Because you are an anomaly. The fact that you've gone for somebody slightly older, it's just down to me being amazing, beautiful, clever,
and entertaining.
But let's just imagine you're a normal man, and you're in your 50s.
I'm a normal 50-year-old who's divorced, and I'm looking for a 25-year-old.
No, okay, I'm going to give you a 35-year-old.
A 35-year-old. That's sensible.
They don't want anybody their own age. It's revolting, but it's true.
Oh, okay.
All right. So you're looking for this 35-year-old, and I'm going to imagine I'm now 35, and you've seen my picture online, and I look nice.
Yeah, I mean,
pretty.
You look like you did when you were 35. You're
pretty.
It's a bit like your aging stopped at the age of 35.
That's good, darling.
Yeah,
it's very good.
So I'm looking at that face, and I'm going, look, she looks smart. She looks
smart.
Very warm. Looks like she's got a good sense of humour. Yeah.
How do you get that? How do you pick that up from the photo?
You can just see from the slight curve of her lip. And,
oh, my God, stop. It's revolting.
The light in her eyes.
Oh,
What?
God, don't.
What?
It's a wonder we ever got together, honestly, sometimes, with all that charm.
No,
anyway.
but that's the that's what you're looking for. You know, you're looking for, and again, I mean, this is, you know, confirmation bias and first impressions and all of that kind of stuff. All of those biases are involved here. I mean, the fact is that when you look at somebody's face, you really don't know anything about them.
You know absolutely nothing.
But we think we do.
As we know.
We think we do.
We make we will make a lightning quick decision on what that person is like based on, and we will call it a gut instinct, will we not? But in fact, it's based on stored memories, like a pastiche of stored memories, positive or negative. That notion of you can pick up what somebody's like in the first, you know, few minutes of meeting them is complete crap.
Is it really?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Well, I don't know. Doesn't it depend on how finely tuned your radar is?
No.
What are you saying, that everybody, even the most emotionally intelligent, you know, sensitive, discerning, genuinely intuitive creature,
Like me.
like you, I think that you pride yourself on being able to read people really quickly.
Yeah, I'm often wrong.
Are you?
Oh, sure. Okay, so let's just say when we initially meet somebody, we will have what we would call a gut reaction to that person. Yes? True?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now...
Well, yeah. Not everybody would.
No, okay. So
some people don't have a gut reaction, but those who do will experience a sense of what?
They will experience a sense of, I know what this person is like. Now, as we know, don't they?
Yeah.
As we know, intuitive responses in an environment, so quick thinking responses in an environment that you're highly attuned, acclimatized and exposed to, are more likely to be accurate, right?
Yeah.
But not foolproof.
Not foolproof. Like if you're a casting director, right?
If you're a
casting director and your job is about, you know, spotting talent, matching the qualities of an actor to the character that they're going to play.
Yeah.
If that's your profession, then you probably get really good at it.
Yeah, you get good at it.
And you can tell in the first 30 seconds whether this person is right for the role or not.
You can. But across, say, a group of 100, right? Let's say you've done it 100 times. We are going to get better at making that intuitive response, but we're still going to get it wrong sometimes. Someone like me, who has spent a lot of time evaluating people really, really quickly, and as an actor, I'm very tuned in as well.
Yes.
To quirks, impulses, characteristics, and just remembering that this response that we have, that we call the gut response, right?
Or intuition,
is not some spiritual bit of high ground that has been handed down to us. It is a function of memory.
That's right.
So intuition is a fancy word for memory. So if I meet you...
Yes.
I'm on a roll, don't interrupt.
Okay.
If I meet you, my brain is going to do a lightning quick assessment through the filing cabinets in my head and come up with similar characteristics of people I have met before. And then I will decide I either like you or I don't like you. Based on that, I have a good feeling or I don't have a good feeling about you. Now, the thing about that is I might be right or I might be wrong. But women especially are told, and I've said this about 1 million times, that their intuition is sacrosanct, that their intuition is accurate, and it's bullshit. No, it's not.
Yeah.
And our critical thinking is suspended in the face of charm.
Yes.
Go on.
Intuition is a function that enables people to make lightning quick decisions, as you say, when they have had experience in a certain environment.
Correct.
Or experiences with certain kind of relationships.
Yes.
There is something that is essential to that mechanism, and I think that this is interesting, and that is that you only develop accurate intuition when you get feedback. So, if you meet somebody and you make a judgment around whether you can trust them or not, and then you enter into a relationship and your heart is broken, that broken heart is feedback that your judgments were incorrect. So you don't develop intuition just by having experience after experience after experience. What is required is that you get, feedback, either gross feedback or very subtle feedback. That is how your intuition is trained. That's how your intuition actually improves.
Right. Okay. Right. That's interesting. Okay. So, I mean, if you think about Malcolm Gladwell's Blink.
Yes.
Everybody should read Malcolm Gladwell's Blink. And he does posit this very well, that of course we need system one thinking.
Yes.
We have to have it.
Yeah, that's right. And people can, there's interesting examples of someone who has looked at this statue, which for all the world, looks like it's been dug out of the ground and it's amazingly genuine. And in fact, it's a fake, and they can pick it. Yes.
They can pick it in 0.5 of a second.
Yes.
The reason that they can pick it is they've been looking at statues from that historical period.
Yes.
Right. So
and their judgments about whether it's fake or whether it has been real has been informed by continual feedback.
Yeah, that's right.
So
I don't think we're very good with that with relationships.
Well, that's because we don't want to take the feedback.
We don't want to take the feedback.
Because there's something
right.
more important that says, I will excuse that, or I won't even see it because I don't want to see that I am now again in the company of somebody who doesn't take my best interests at heart. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that is, hope. What's the expression? Hope over.
I was thinking about hope springs eternal.
Hope springs eternal. We want to be loved. We want to find the one. We want to be in a relationship with someone who is loving, caring, considerate, funny, hardworking, earning a good income, all of the above. And so what we do is things arise in the relationship that don't fit that particular framework, and we exclude them from the frame because we don't want to look at it, and then we wonder why things go wrong.
That's right.
So, yeah. So back to this notion that you have seen me online.
Seen your photo.
And I look really good.
She looks great.
I look great. And then what happens? And then you message me?
Yeah. Is that how they do it? You send them a message and say, listen, I'd like to meet up.
Yeah, no, then we do a bit of chit-chat, and God, we've got so much in common.
That's right.
It's great.
I tell you what, I'd love to take you on a picnic to Clifton Gardens.
Oh, gee, far out.
No?
I would know immediately that I hated you.
Really?
Oh, yeah, that would annoy me.
But Clifton Gardens
I'd have to end up packing things.
On a beautiful day. No, I'll take care of it.
No, you won't.
I'll bring a barbecue chicken and some salad.
God.
Bottle of Prosecco.
Oh, God, no, don't day drink. You see, you didn't bother to find that out, did you?
Okay.
Right.
Well, I'll bring some grapefruit juice as well, just in case.
Grapefruit juice. What if I'm on statins? Okay, hang on. So let's go back. So we're there. And then we've had this chatting, and we're getting on really well.
Yes.
We've got all this stuff.
Oh, we're getting on well now. You're not telling me that my plans to take you to Clifton...
we haven't got to the picnic bit yet.
Okay, all right. We're just getting on well.
Right, and then you say, let's meet up.
Yeah, let's meet up.
And what's going on for you at this moment?
Well,
we've already looked at what's going on for me.
What do I need to deconstruct that? Do I? Because there are layers of it.
Go. Just don't over talk. Just come on.
Okay, there are many layers.
Layer one.
Okay. She's attractive.
Good. And then
Layer two.
Yep.
I probably won't be bored. It'll be an interesting conversation.
Yeah. Layer three. I'll probably be able to get her into the sack quite quickly. What?
I'd like to be able to get her into the sack quite. She looks easy. She looks like a soft touch.
Easy.
Just tap her on the head and the clothes will fall off her.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Now this is dangerous. Because if I was to say, yeah, that's a thought that occurs.
Well, of course it occurs.
Then, of course.
To men.
Well, it can occur.
Well, okay, let's just say it's occurred.
Okay. I can inhabit that space. All right.
Very good.
Like I can play the murderous Richard III.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I can imagine what it's like.
Yes.
To look at a photo and go, yes, she'd be easy to get in the sack.
Good.
Therefore,
yeah, okay.
I'm going to take a risk and ask her out.
Okay. So let's just. And at this moment, you're hopeful.
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Have you got other people at the same time that you're communicating with on the apps?
What, I'm spreading my bets?
Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So there There are, how many can I have?
You it's so lucky you're married.
How widely do I spread my bets?
You've got 4 going.
4 going at the same time.
And they're all, okay. Hang on.
Do they all have different names?
Yes,
Oh,
David.
that's good.
No,
it's terrible when you've got 2 prospects and they have the same name.
Yeah, no. Yeah, they're all called Jennifer.
They're all Jennifer?
No, they're not.
They're
all
not.
got different names.
They're all
right,
different?
so listen, you've got 4 going.
And are they all the same age?
They're all younger than you.
Right. Can I have a spread? Can I go from 28 to, say, 32?
No, that's revolting.
Okay.
You can go from 35 to 40.
Gee, that's a fairly narrow. Okay, right.
Okay.
35 to 40.
Hang on. Do I know that you're spreading your bets?
No, of course not. Why would I tell you that? I'd be less likely to get you in the sack if you knew that I had other ones on the go.
Okay, so all right. So I don't know this, and it's going really well.
It's going well.
And you're feeling
you could be the one.
I could be.
Yeah, 1 in 4. 1 in 4 chance.
I could be. And
1 in 4 chance that this could lead to something.
And what is the something?
Oh,
what do you want?
Well, that I then go from, you make the short list, and now there's only 2 people that I'm stringing along, and then I make it's like an episode of The Bachelor, isn't it? You know, and then I because I give roses to 4, then to 2, and then I just give 1 final rose to you, and that's a possibility.
Oh. Okay.
That's a possibility.
So then we go on but I'm attractive and you think it's going on, but you're sort of hopeful. You've got some dopamine, you've got some anticipatory chemical stuff going on in your brain.
I am actually a bit hopeful. You know, you could maybe be the right one.
To do what? To have a relationship?
To have a long-term relationship.
Do you want a relationship or not really?
Well, isn't that why I'm on the dating apps?
Well, I don't know, is it? Or do you just want to...
Okay, so, look,
You think you do?
I definitely think that I want a relationship. I'm not one of the 1% of disgusting sociopaths who are going on the dating apps just for sport and to hurt people and to self-aggrandize.
Okay. No. You've gone too far.
Yeah.
You could be wanting to just have a fun time and go out with a whole lot of women, or you could be wanting a relationship.
So I'm in the middle of the bell curve of people who actually are open to having a relationship because I have bought into the idea that it'd be better to grow old with somebody than on my own.
You just want someone to take you to the doctor.
Hang on.
Well, you do. You want someone to drive you to a specialist.
No.
And to wheel you around when you've had your hip replaced.
No, someone to do the crossword at 11 o'clock in the morning when we have tea and Tim Tams together.
Almighty, you're the worst.
You know, we could go on one of those European
picnic.
We could go on one of those European river cruises.
Oh my God.
You know, where we could have our deck chairs.
Oh my God.
And they could bring us some, masala.
Okay. All right. So then what happens?
So I'm thinking a serious long-term relationship.
Then you meet me. You say, do you want to go out?
You always like to go out.
Yeah. So then you take me we go to dinner.
We go to dinner.
And it's a really nice dinner.
It's a lovely dinner.
Are you having a good time with me?
Yeah, I am having a good time. And I'm thinking, okay, go for it. Invite Annie for a camping trip. Let's go away. Okay, so we're having this lovely dinner.
I'm not going on away on a camping trip with you. I barely know you.
Let's have a camping trip up into the Blue Mountains.
No.
I'm not a psychopath.
You don't listen.
What?
You're not inviting anybody camping. We're just having dinner. Forget the camping.
Okay, I'm having dinner.
Because you're about to ghost me.
I know, because you don't want to go camping. I make a perfectly reasonable suggestion, and your response to it... there's no way I could ever go camping. And then I go, okay, well, probably this isn't the girl for me then.
No.
She hasn't made the cut.
You have not done this properly. We're going to go back. We're at dinner. La-di-la-di-la-di-la.
Okay, right.
And then you say, would you like to catch up again?
Would you like to catch up again?
And at this moment,
yes,
you do want to catch up with
me. Oh, do
me.
I?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
And then I go, that'd be great.
Hang on a second. Hey, this was fun.
We're in the scene now. Okay,
yeah.
go.
Yeah. Hey,
yeah.
Look, this was fun.
It was fun.
I think I've probably got to get you home because you've got a big day tomorrow, as you've told me. I was listening in the conversation.
Right, so you've got good listening skills.
I've got good listening skills. Mm-hmm. Let me get you home. But Annie,
I asked my number.
Yeah,
you've got to ask my number.
Haven't I got your number?
No, we've been communicating on the apps.
All right. Would you feel comfortable to give me your number?
What's your name?
What? That we haven't covered that yet?
No, in the scene. I've got to.
Oh,
yeah.
Justin. No, call me Bruce.
No, I'm not calling you Bruce. I went out with a Bruce.
Oh, okay.
Henry.
Christian.
No, I went out with a Christian.
Dean?
I went out with a Dean.
Oh, goodness me. Elvis.
No.
Oh,
Can't you just come up with it? John.
okay. All right, John. You've never went out with a John.
Actually, I did.
You did?
Okay. Steve went out with Steve. Hang on. This is looking quite bad, isn't it? I'm going to call
Annie,
you Jeremy.
How many partners did you have before
Not
me?
partners, just a bit of dating.
Okay, Jeremy. Annie? Are you Annie?
No.
No, you're Maud.
Not Maud.
Maud and Jeremy, don't you think?
No.
Okay.
Jeremy and I am, because I've been writing my book, my head is full of names. My name is Madeline.
Madeline. Maddie. Can I call you Maddie?
Yeah.
Okay. Look, this has been great.
Maddie. Thanks, Jeremy.
Would you like to do it again?
Okay, it'd be great, Jeremy.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it has been good. As you know, I've had a bit of a time of it on the apps.
Yeah.
And
well, let's drop the apps. What's the best way to get in contact with you? You know, do you like email, text message, like to call? How do you like to communicate?
It's killing me. It's your face.
Yeah, no, this is great.
You look so hopeful.
I am hopeful.
All right.
You could be the one.
All right. I guess. Yeah. Look, I'll just give you my number.
Yeah.
I've got to go to Melbourne on the weekend, as you know.
Oh, really?
As discussed.
What are you going to Melbourne for again?
Work.
Work? Are you working on the weekend? Gee, you're dedicated.
Yeah, I am. So I've got to work, but I'll be back. Yeah, that would be great. And
Okay. So I'll give you a call on Monday.
Hey, that steak was delicious.
Yeah. Well, it's a very expensive restaurant. I tell you what, I do cook a good steak.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I mean, rather than go to a restaurant next time, can I invite you over to my place and I could do my very best ribeye.
Sure, that'd be great.
Okay, lovely.
Okay,
Shall I call you on Monday?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah,
hey,
okay.
Nice, and that was good. Thanks, Jeremy.
It's a delight, Maddie.
Okay. Now, come Monday. Now, come Monday, I'm back from my trip, and I've got my phone in my left hand, and I keep checking to see, and nothing has come from you. Nothing comes all Monday, nothing comes all Tuesday, nothing comes all Wednesday. What's going on for you?
Well, it must have been because the date I had on Saturday night made me think that actually Catherine is more likely to be the woman of my dreams. Because when we went out, we discussed our interests, and
Hang on, what night did you go out with me?
Friday.
Went
out with you on Friday night.
Yeah, you didn't mention anything about. You said you were going to drop the apps. So at that moment when you said, "All right, let's get off the apps,"
let's get off the apps,
and I'll call you on Monday, and I'll cook you a steak. Did you mean that?
Yeah, I did.
And then what happened to that meaningful conversation?
I got a message from Catherine.
And then what happened in your brain?
Why not? It was kind of fun last time I met Catherine. She wants to go to a concert. It's a band that I've been dying to see for quite some time. Mm-hmm. And I thought, yeah, what the heck, I'll go to the concert.
Yeah, and then what?
And then, it was a fantastic concert, full of dopamine, it was tremendously exciting. Mm-hmm. And I guess something shifted in my heart, in my mind, in my nervous system about the way that I feel about Catherine. It was great. It was surprising. It was.
So you've been out with me.
Yeah, and you're great.
At the time, you meant the steak offer to cook steak at home.
I did.
But then you've been out with somebody else.
Yes.
And then the excitement of that and the dopamine reward system was fired off.
Yes.
And is that because also your experience with Catherine is more recent? So is it the recency effect? Is it more active in your mind?
Okay. Look, there are a few things that I think would make it that would elevate Catherine as a prospect. Yes, indeed, the recency effect, right? So
explain the recency effect.
Well, the recency effect is that we do tend to value the things and remember the things and are more sort of psychologically engaged with the things that happened recently.
Yep.
So on Sunday, after having the evening with Catherine, which was supercharged with dopamine. This is another thing that can happen with attraction, that when you have an experience that is exciting and fun, and you start to then include the resonance of that excitement and fun whenever you think about that person.
Yeah, right. It sort of gets conflated.
Yeah, that's right. So recently, the recency effect, I had the dopamine effect. Also, the fact is that Catherine did the scarcity thing with me, which I did have a nice meal with her a couple of weeks ago, and she was very restrained in how much she was communicating with me. So, this message from Catherine came out of the blue, and it's like, oh my goodness, I never thought that she'd call me. I feel a bit special and like I've won the lottery. So again, that elevates her in terms of, desire and attractability.
Well, it's the whole thing, isn't it? Availability and consistency with someone, unfortunately, keys into the notion of hedonic adaptation. As soon as we have something, we have it and we've adapted. So maybe the fact that I'm not making me wrong, by the way.
No.
But
this
maybe
is just what happens.
This is just what happens. Okay, so then, all right. So you've seen Catherine.
Catherine, yes.
And what's happening in your brain? Has my presence just taken up less space in your brain, or the memory of the Friday night, or?
It's clear to me that if I'm going to have this relationship with Catherine, I can't have you over at my place and me cooking for you. So while I'm still not sure that Catherine is 100%, at the moment she's at the top of the list. And so I better just kind of keep you in abeyance, just to make sure that
you've
you don't...
ghosted me totally.
Yeah,
I'll never hear from you again.
Yeah, well, I had to.
And, okay, so you had to. So at the time that you said the things about the steak.
Yes.
You meant it.
No, I did.
But then what's happened is, so you meant that at the time, but then something else has come in that has superseded that experience. And so you've decided you just are not interested in me anymore. Not
interested in you as my priority prospect.
So how much of your brain is occupied by the fact that I probably has hurt my feelings?
Well, that depends on what the thought of Catherine is doing to my nervous system. Like, it could be that Catherine has absolutely now bowled me over, and if that's the case, then my entire nervous system is full of sensations that are about her and just not you. So you no longer register in that part of me that says, this is an important person, this is an important,
all right.
Important
so let's
relationship.
Just imagine it gets to the Thursday.
Yep.
And on here's me back being, who am I? Madeline, yeah. Madeline. And I've been waiting for 4 days, and the sense of urgency in me is increasing. I'm getting really, I'm starting to feel really agitated. I'm upset. I feel let down. I'm sad, and I'm a bit angry. So then I message you and go, really friendly. I've took a really long time to construct this message. It's like super casual. Hey, just wondering if you still want to catch up. It was fun the other night. And you receive that on your phone.
Yeah. And
what do you do with it?
I roll my eyes. And start to squirm, actually. I mean, again, I'm playing a character, so consistent with what you've just described. I start to squirm a little bit, which is to go, uh-oh, loose end. Clearly she's been waiting for me to get in contact. I did promise a steak dinner. I really don't want to go ahead with that. What am I going to do? So there's a spectrum of choices.
Yeah, but you don't get back to me.
Okay, I won't get back to you. And the reason why I don't get back to you is that I'm just hoping that you get the message and that you'll go away, and then you'll move on.
With your life.
Yeah, get on with your life and,
and so
somebody else.
Let's just say, okay, but are you worried about hurting me?
Okay. From this persona.
I'm not talking about you because you would never do it.
Yeah,
not do it.
I'm saying, look, the worry that I have is that, look, you're going to be upset, but let's say that I'm only worried about the fact that you might cause trouble for me from being upset. You could turn out to be a bunny boiler. You could start stalking me, and that's why I'm worried. So it's a self-centered defensive response that I'm describing at the moment.
All right.
Or I could, arguably feel really sad and send you try and apologise with flowers and introduce you to my best mate or something like that. I mean, all of these things are possible, but I think probably the most typical thing would be, I got a bit of a problem. I'm going to continue ghosting you so that you get the message and I just don't have to deal with it. I want to avoid it.
All right, so that's really good. So I think we're going to do more on this because I think it's a really interesting space for us to be. And also you have to go and take the dog to the vet because he hurt his paw.
Yes.
So you have to go now and I have to go because I've got to go into the city.
But I mean, if I could just summarise where I think we're at, what I am feeling at the moment as I describe my behaviour is that I am careless. Not necessarily vindictive. I don't want to hurt you.
Got it.
I don't want to punish you.
Yeah.
I don't want to humiliate you.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I am allowing myself to be culpably careless.
Good. I like that. Culpably careless. All right then. So thank you. I thought that was really interesting. I think we should do more on that.
Okay. Or people could just watch The Bachelorette.
Yeah, you just watch The Bachelorette.
Or Maths or something like that.
All right. So we will continue this conversation because I think it's really good. But we both have to go now because we're so busy and important. Thank you very much for tuning in wherever you are in the world. If you are having a miserable time on the apps, or if anybody you know is having a miserable time on the apps, please send them this podcast because we need to start exploring some of these psychological indices that are affecting the way we operate online and, in fact, in the world. Is indices the right word?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I mean,
that's why you've stayed with me, isn't it? Because my vocabulary is really good.
It is absolutely magnificent.
Thank you.
All
right.
Are you sure you don't want to go camping with me on the King's birthday weekend?
I really don't.
But it'd be so much fun.
I don't want
to nature.
I don't. I like to walk in nature and then get somewhere with a shower and a person bringing me food and a drink that I will be polite to.
Yeah, but you do know that immersion in nature is tremendously
Thank you
healing.
Yuck. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay safe. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay well, stay safe, and keep your critical thinking hats on. See ya. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Why Smart Women with me, Annie McCubbin. I hope today's episode has ignited your curiosity and left you feeling inspired by my anti-motivational style. Join me next time as we continue to unravel the fascinating layers of our brains and develop ways to sort out the fact from the fiction and the over 6,000 thoughts we have in the course of every day. Remember, intelligence isn't enough. You can be as smart as paint, but it's not just about what you know, it's about how you think. And in all this talk of whether or not you can trust your gut, if you ever feel unsafe, whether it's in the street, at work, in a car park, in a bar, or in your own home, please respect that gut feeling. Staying safe needs to be our primary objective. We can build better lives, but we have to stay safe to do that. And don't forget to subscribe, rate and review the podcast and share it with your fellow smart women and allies. Together, we're hopefully reshaping the narrative around women and making better decisions. So until next time, stay sharp, stay savvy, and keep your critical thinking hat shiny. This is Annie McCubbin signing off from Why Smart Women. See you later. This episode was produced by Harrison Hess. It was executive produced and written by me, Annie McCubbin.